Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling when you first hit Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
It's less like arriving and more like being instantly immersed in something, well, electric.
Totally.
The scale, the sound, the sheer visual assault from every direction it promises. Like a million possibilities all at once.
Uh-huh. Every hotel, every sign, every corner seems to offer a new dazzling experience.
And that promise is incredibly powerful. Vegas is
Mhm.
engineered to be, an entire world unto itself.
It really is. But as anyone who's tried to make sense of it knows, navigating that sheer volume of options can be surprisingly overwhelming.
Right.
You see all the lights, hear about all the shows and restaurants, and suddenly the question isn't if there's something for you, but how on earth you figure out which things.
Yeah, and how you actually get to them without getting lost in the labyrinth.
Exactly. It's easy to get starry-eyed and forget about the practicalities of existing in this unique ecosystem.
Which is precisely why we embarked on this deep dive. We took
Uh-huh.
a whole stack of sources you shared with us, everything from in-depth guides on dining and entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
articles highlighting the free and the truly unusual practical breakdowns of getting around, and even like candid notes and comments from travelers sharing their experiences on places like Reddit.
And our mission today is to, well, cut through that sensory overload and information deluge. We want to distill these sources into the most valuable nuggets of knowledge for you.
Find the good stuff.
Yeah, we're looking for those surprising facts, the genuinely useful insights, and the essential tips that provide maybe a shortcut to feeling well informed about what Vegas really offers.
Beyond the obvious.
Right. Stripping away some of the obvious and getting to the good stuff. We're going to unpack this fascinating, sprawling city piece by piece.
All right, let's start with a challenge that faces, well, just about everyone the moment they arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Getting from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Because Vegas has this incredible illusion of scale that messes with your head.
It absolutely does. One of the biggest misconceptions about the Las Vegas Strip, and something our sources highlight repeatedly, is that the hotels look deceptively close to each other.
Oh, totally. You see them lined up, maybe from a window or a photo, they seem like they're just steps apart,
Like, oh, I'll just pop over to the Bellagio from the Cosmo. That's nothing.
and then you try to walk it.
And the reality hits. These aren't just buildings. They are immense, self-contained resorts that sprawl over massive footprints. The
Huge.
distances between them and even walking through them are far greater than your eyes initially perceive.
So trying to walk the entire, what is it, 4.2-mile strip?
Yeah, that's the official length. But it's not just a long walk. Once you factor in navigating pedestrian bridges, crossing streets, maybe a slight detour through a casino,
Uh-huh.
it easily turns into a 6 to 8 mile round trip if you're going from one end and back, exploring along the way.
Wow. And that's under ideal conditions.
What a...
One source pointed out the frustrating reality of those pedestrian bridges designed to get you over the busy streets,
Right.
but with frequently broken escalators, making wheelchair accessibility very hectic, they said.
So even just crossing the street isn't always straightforward.
No. Which brings us to the core challenge. How do you efficiently and comfortably move between these massive properties without, melting in the heat, sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic?
Or spending a fortune on taxis or ride shares every time you want to change locations.
Exactly.
Fortunately, the sources lay out a few key transportation strategies.
Okay, so the most obvious, and in some ways maybe the most rewarding, is walking.
Right. The sources call it the best way to truly see everything and emphasize that it's completely free.
Which it is.
And that's true. The level of detail and the energy of the strip are really best absorbed on foot. However, the major caveat, as underlined by everyone, is the physical demand.
Yeah.
It is a lot of walking, often in intense heat and navigating crowds. It's not a casual stroll between hotels.
Definitely not. So when your feet inevitably start protesting, or you just need to cover distance faster,
The free trams become your best friends, according to these sources. This was a key nugget for efficient budget travel.
okay, tell me about these free trams.
Absolutely. These aren't part of the public transport system or the main paid monorail. They're essentially inter-property connectors funded by the resorts themselves.
Oh, okay.
And there are 3 distinct lines, each serving a different section of the strip.
All right, so down on the southern end?
You've got the tram that links Excalibur, Luxor, and Mandalay Bay. It runs pretty frequently, about every 5 minutes, which is super convenient if you're staying down there or exploring that part of the strip.
And from Excalibur, it's like a short walk across to New York, New York.
Right. And then another quick stroll gets you to MGM Grand. So that southern tram can be a gateway to several major resorts.
Gotcha. Then right in the heart of the Strip.
You have a crucial line connecting Park, MGM, Aria, and the Bellagio. This one is particularly useful because it stops near the upscale shops at Crystals and the Cosmopolitan. It runs in both directions and is highlighted as being very central and perfect for when your legs start to feel tired in the middle of a busy day.
I can imagine. And the third one.
Up towards the north, there's a quicker, nonstop tram line linking the Mirage and Treasure Island. This provides quick access between those two specific properties.
Just those two.
Yeah, it's a short hop, but useful if you're going between those exact resorts.
Okay. It's important to remember, though, that while they're free, these trams aren't always running 24/7, right?
Exactly. Hours vary, and the sources specifically point out the Mandalay Bay tram has different start times on different days,
Oh.
though they all tend to shut down around midnight. Always worth checking their specific hours if you're planning on being out late.
Good tip. Now, separate from those free casino trams is the paid monorail system.
Right. This is a larger public transit option, but it has its own quirks.
Like what?
Well, it runs along the eastern side of the Strip, which means its stations are often set back from the main boulevard and the hotel entrances.
Ah, so you might have to walk a bit to the monorail station itself.
Precisely. But it does connect some significant properties on that side. Stops include the MGM Grand, Horseshoe Las Vegas that used to be Bally's,
Right.
Caesar's Palace, the Sahara, and a few others up and down that corridor.
Yeah, and costs.
A single ride will set you back $5, but the sources note that a 24-hour pass for $13 is a great deal if you plan on using it multiple times within that period.
Okay, so that's not bad.
And it starts at 7 a.m. daily and runs later than the free trams until midnight on Mondays and until 2 or 3 a.m. on other nights, with trains arriving every 4-8 minutes.
Okay. So trams, monorail,
Yeah.
what else? Buses.
For even broader coverage, especially if you're venturing beyond the Central Strip or heading downtown, the bus system is another option.
The main one is called the Deuce, right? The double-decker.
That's the one. It travels the full length of the Strip 207. And a really useful detail from the sources is that its route actually starts right at the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the South Strip Transit Terminal, Bay 14 specifically, and goes all the way downtown to Fremont Street.
Wow, so you could potentially catch the Deuce right after landing to get to your hotel, depending on where it is.
Exactly. Pricing for the Deuce is quite reasonable, $6 for a 2-hour pass, or $8 for a 24-hour pass. You can buy tickets at machines or use the Rider ITC app.
Okay. And if your plans are specifically centered around the downtown area, is there something just for that?
There is. It's called the Downtown Loop. This is a free shuttle service designed to help you get around the Fremont Street vicinity, but it doesn't venture onto the Central Street.
Free is good.
Free is always good, but it operates on more limited hours than the Deuce, generally 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay.
It does make a stop near the Strat Hotel at the far north end of the Strip corridor before heading into the downtown area proper.
Another useful tip surfaced in the sources. Check with your hotel, especially if it's near but not directly on the Strip. Some properties offer complimentary shuttle services to or from the main Strip resorts. Could be a nice little perk.
Definitely worth asking at the front desk.
For sure.
And finally, while convenient for specific trips, ride shares like Uber Lyft, traditional taxis, and even renting bikes are options mentioned.
Like,
Yeah, the consensus is that parking is expensive and difficult to find. So if you do have a car, parking it at your hotel and relying on these other methods for exploring is often the most practical approach.
that makes sense. Park once and figure out the rest.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's a solid plan for getting from point A to point B. But once you're there, what do you actually do? Especially if you're looking for experiences beyond, the main casino floor.
Right.
Or maybe you've done the typical first-timer stuff and want something different, or simply want to find things that don't cost a fortune.
This is where we uncover some of the most interesting nuggets from the sources. The free, the unusual, and the genuinely captivating experiences that go beyond the glitz.
Awesome.
There's a wealth of options that don't require you to swipe a card.
Let's start with the completely free attractions right there on the Strip. A big one mentioned, mainly from the Bucket List Mermaid source, is simply exploring the incredible hotel interiors and exteriors.
Absolutely. You don't need a room key to just wander through these architectural marvels.
So where should people look?
Okay, starting south, the Luxor has that giant sphinx outside, which is a classic free photo op.
Can't miss it.
Then New York gives you an outdoor replica of the New York skyline, complete with the Statue of Liberty and a view of the roller coaster. Inside, they've designed it to mimic walking through Greenwich Village-esque streets.
Cool. What about area?
The Oria is noted as a typical fancy Vegas hotel, very elegant. It's home to a famous and paid spot. Din Tai Fung, one source, was super passionate, saying they would fly to Vegas for these dumplings.
Ah, okay.
But you can certainly admire Aria's modern luxury for free.
And the Cosmopolitan?
Simply described as just a cool hotel. It's worth visiting just to see the absolutely stunning, multi-story, glittering crystal chandelier structure in the middle of the casino floor. It's a true visual centerpiece.
I've seen pictures of that. It looks amazing.
It really is. Moving to the Bellagio, it's a treasure trove of free sights. The lobby ceiling is covered in Dale Chihuly's vibrant, blown glass flowers.
Oh, the Fior di Como. Breathtaking.
Just breathtaking. And just past the lobby, the Conservatory and Botanical Gardens is a truly unique, free experience.
And that's the one that changes themes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The sources rave about the jaw-dropping themed displays that change with the seasons or holidays. They are 100% free, and seeing them is like walking through a living art exhibit.
Wow.
And right near the lobby and gardens, you can see the world's largest chocolate fountain, another quirky free sight.
A chocolate fountain. Seriously.
Apparently. Then there's Caesar's Palace, going all in on the Roman theme. The exterior looks like ancient Rome, and the inside drips with luxury. It's a massive property to just wander and take in the opulent, albeit themed, surroundings.
It's in Paris, Las Vegas.
Naturally, it brings Paris to the desert. The exterior has its scaled Eiffel Tower, Arc de Triomphe, and classic Parisian building facades. Inside, it's designed to feel like a Parisian streetscape with charming signs and restaurants.
Okay. Treasure Island. Still piratey.
It still leans into the pirate theme. While the shows might be gone, the two giant pirate ships flanking the entrance on the Strip are still a fun, free visual.
Gotcha. And the Venetian.
Ah, the Venetian. This hotel provides an immersive Italian ambiance that is truly expansive and detailed. The sources mention the incredible Venetian architecture, the ornate ceilings, and sometimes you even encounter performers singing Italian opera or songs.
So even without paying for a gondola ride.
Exactly. Exploring the space feels like a trip to Venice.
Nice. Okay. Beyond the hotel interiors themselves, Vegas has some iconic free shows that draw huge crowds.
Oh yeah. The Bellagio fountains are probably the most famous globally. The sources emphasize the scale. Over 1,200 nozzles, 4,500 lights, with water reaching up to 460 feet. It's a powerful performance choreographed to music.
And they run pretty often.
Daily, starting midday. Weekdays it starts at 12 p.m., holidays, weekends at 3 p.m. Shows run every half hour until 6:30 p.m., and then amp up to every 15 minutes at night until midnight.
Okay.
The sources strongly recommend seeing it at night for the full light effect, but say seeing it during the day is also unique, so if you can swing it, see both.
Good advice. What else? Downtown.
If you venture downtown, the Viva Vision light shows at the Fremont Street Experience are free nightly. These are projection shows on the massive LED canopy overhead, lasting about 6 to 8 minutes, often coupled with free concerts and events on the street.
Right, the whole Fremont Street experience.
For a slightly less grand but still free experience, there's the indoor rainstorm show at the Miracle Mile shops inside Planet Hollywood.
A rain store. Indoors.
Yeah. The sources call it not spectacular, but it's free. It's a quick 5-minute effect with rain, fog, lightning, and thunder happening every hour on weekdays and every half hour on weekends.
Okay.
And at the Wynn, the Lake of Dreams offers a hypnotic water, light, and music show nightly, starting at dusk, running every half hour. While there are lounges with prime views, you can often catch glimpses of the light and water effects for free from certain public areas.
All right. Another fantastic free activity, especially in these elaborately themed hotels, is simply window shopping, right?
Definitely. The shopping areas aren't just rows of stores, they're fully immersive environments. The Forum shops have that Roman luxury theme.
Right, at Caesars.
The Grand Canal shops at the Venetian are, as we mentioned, like walking through Venice. Sources called it a bucket list idea activity just to experience it.
Just walking through.
Yeah. And the Miracle Mile shops at Planet Hollywood stretch 1.2 miles and have a painted sky ceiling and facades designed to look like outdoor buildings, giving off strong Aladdin vibes, according to one source. The LA&Q Promenade is another lively outdoor area with shops, restaurants, and street performers, all free to wander, and it offers a great view of the high roller observation wheel lit up at night.
Nice. Now, what about finding, like, a moment of calm, some nature amidst the chaos?
Good question. The sources point to a few spots. The Flamingo Wildlife Habitat is a wonderful, free 4-acre garden that feels like a desert oasis.
At the Flamingo Hotel.
Exactly. You can see flamingos, other birds, turtles, and fish. They even have keepers talks twice a day at 8:30 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Cool.
And of course, the Bellagio Conservatory and Botanical Gardens mentioned earlier fits perfectly here as a free nature-focused highlight.
Right.
And at the Wynn, there are really cool waterfalls that are apparently slightly hidden, but worth finding for a peaceful moment and a photo.
Okay. Need to look for those. Any other quirky free spots?
For a sweet and quirky free browse, you can check out the Coca-Cola store and Hershey's World. Great for nostalgia.
Maybe less great if you're trying to be healthy.
Probably. And that quintessential Vegas photo. The Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign is located south of Mandalay Bay. There's a parking lot, but be prepared for a line for your turn to take a picture.
And bring water.
Definitely bring water, especially if you're walking there or waiting in line.
Good point. Finally, something you'll definitely encounter on the Strip is street performers.
Ah, yes. The sources make an important distinction here. There are professional shows often put on by hotels that are genuinely good, and there's no pressure to tip.
Okay.
But there are also many individuals dressed up or performing for tips. If you take a picture of them, they will likely expect or hassle you for money.
Right. Like the characters in Times Square.
Kind of like that. The advice is clear. If you're not planning to tip, just politely decline and continue walking. Knowing that distinction ahead of time can save you some awkward moments.
Definitely good to know.
Yeah.
Now, while the Strip has plenty to keep you busy, the sources also highlight some truly unusual things to do, many of which require venturing slightly off the main boulevard.
Yeah, these are great for second or third trips, or for those with specific interests. Atlas Obscura and Reddit comments were gold mines here.
Okay, like what? Museums.
For museums, there's the fantastic Mob Museum downtown, complete with a speakeasy downstairs for a historical drink.
Oh, cool.
Other cool museums mentioned include the Pinball Museum, the Neon Museum, definitely recommended for a night tour to see the old signs illuminated.
Yeah, I've heard the Neon Museum's amazing.
It looks it. Also, the Smithsonian-sponsored Atomic Testing Museum, covering science, history, and pop culture of the atomic age, the Erotic Heritage Museum, and the Shelby Museum for anyone into cars.
Lots of variety there. What about unique attractions?
Area 15 is a big one. It's an arts and shopping complex that houses Mao Wolf's Omega Mart.
Ah, the weird supermarket thing.
Yeah, if you're looking for an immersive, slightly trippy indoor experience. Downtown, the Circa Casino is highlighted as the newest downtown casino with the massive sports book. And of course, the architectural and visual marvel that is the Sphere. You can't miss that.
No kidding. But let's talk about something completely different, the incredible natural landscape surrounding Vegas.
Yes. The sources are emphatic that if you want to explore this, you require a car and potentially some serious driving. This isn't walking distance.
Crucial point. Okay, so if you have wheels.
The options are stunning. Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area is right there for hiking. For a freeway in, you can explore areas like Calico Basin and Red Springs.
Oh, nice tip.
And one source had the great idea of grabbing breakfast burritos from a spot like Roberto's beforehand for a picnic.
Love that. What's further out?
A bit further out, about 45 minutes, is Valley of Fire State Park, described with enthusiasm. Wonderful landscapes, petroglyphs, tons of beautiful hikes. It's called absolutely freaking cool and completely doable as a day trip.
Wow, okay.
Lake Mead National Recreation Area is another stunning option, offering out-of-this-world landscapes, beautiful hikes, and notably some of the nicest park rangers in the whole system. There's so much to explore there.
Sounds incredible. Any other historical or natural sites?
Other historical or natural sites off the Strip mentioned include the old Las Vegas Mormon Fort Small Park, nominal fee, pre-casino history,
Interesting.
Tull Springs Fossil Beds National Monument, a prehistoric fossil site where the neighborhood just ends into the desert. Tull Springs Ranch at Floydland Park Historic Ranch, former divorce ranch, and the Henderson Bird Viewing Preserve, a lovely desert oasis.
A divorce ranch.
Apparently that was a thing. And for the truly adventurous outdoor types with a car, further afield options include exploring Mount Charleston, the Desert Wildlife Refuge, Corn Creek, Fort Polwheat, hot springs near Hoover Dam, and even an Arizona hot spring hike that's close to Hoover Dam.
So the desert around Vegas is vast and full of hidden gems if you're willing to drive.
Absolutely. You just need the transport and the time.
Now, for the truly weird or niche activities that came up in the sources,
Okay, let's hear these.
how about driving exotic supercars on a real track near the Las Vegas Motor Speedway? That's an option for around $200.
Whoa, okay. That's pretty cool.
Or, leaning even further into the unusual, one Reddit commenter brought up the battlefield tank driving experience.
Driving a tank.
Yeah. Or the possibility of shooting a machine gun out of a helicopter. They noted these sounded kind of cool, lol.
Wow. Definitely not your average tourist activity.
Not at all. For a different kind of night out, the Millennium Fandom Bar is downtown in the Arts District. Described as a nerdy bar with cool design, pop culture memorabilia everywhere, and often draws cosplayers on Friday and Saturday nights.
Fun. And cheap drinks.
Plus, cheap well drinks at $7, apparently.
Nice.
Other unique mentions included the Lion Habitat Ranch, the Art Museum, escape rooms, and checking out Fantastic Sam's swap meet, an indoor place with just about everything you can imagine, called a cool place to wander.
A swap meet, huh? Could find anything there.
Probably. And then, from the depths of the Reddit thread, came a few less conventional suggestions,
Oh boy.
like bringing pizzas down to the tunnels.
The tunnels, wait, isn't that where...
Yes, this was mentioned, but it's important to understand the context provided in the source. These tunnels are home to homeless individuals, while presented as something you could do.
It highlights a different, often unseen reality of the city. Yeah, that's something to think about.
Definitely makes you pause. And then the suggestion to getting drunk and jumping into the Bellagio fountain pool.
Okay, yeah, probably don't do that.
We probably don't need the sources to tell us this is almost certainly prohibited, potentially dangerous, and definitely not recommended. But it shows the range of ideas out there.
For sure. From tank driving to, well, it covers the spectrum.
It really does. Okay, so from navigating the practicalities to exploring the unique, Vegas is also world famous for its vibrant entertainment scene.
Absolutely. Particularly the big production shows and, in the warmer months, the massive pool parties.
Let's dive into shows first. Our source from Cats. Neon provided a great look at some must-see shows highlighted for 2025. Starting downtown.
Yeah, Mavericks at the Plaza Showroom is getting a lot of buzz. Described as a world-class comedy, circus, burlesque, and variety show.
Sounds interesting. Who's behind it?
The creator and MC, Amy Saunders, is highlighted as a fantastic improv comic and sword swallower. The acts rotate jugglers, magic, maybe even a zombie hand, according to the source.
The zombie hand.
Meaning no two shows are alike. It's called Among the Last Authentic Vegas Showroom Experiences and is notably affordable, with tickets starting at just $35.
Wow, $35 is great value for Vegas.
Definitely a nugget there.
Yeah.
Speaking of value and longevity, Penn and Teller are celebrating their 50th anniversary in 2025.
50 years. Incredible. Still at the Rio?
Still at the Rio. Residency since 2001. They're a true Vegas institution. They also tour internationally and have their TV show, Penn and Teller, Fool Us. They really represent that enduring magic and showmanship.
Amazing. What about Cirque du Soleil? Always a big presence.
Of course. Their show, Mad Apple, at New York and New York, is highlighted, opened in 2022, replaced Zumanity, and has proven to be a Cirque hit.
What's the vibe?
Rapid-fire acts, comedy, live music, and a variety show feel. Despite perhaps some initial uncertainty stepping into big shoes, it's found its audience.
Okay. Anything totally new coming?
Yes. A completely new experience coming in summer 2025 is Bob Marley Hope Road at Mandalay Bay, taking over the former Bayside Buffet space.
Bob Marley. How does that work?
It sounds really different. Described as a unique walk-around experience dedicated to Marley's spirit, co-produced by his son Ziggy Marley.
Walk around?
Yeah, it has two distinct parts. Hope Road by day, a multi-sensory walkthrough with digital and analog installations, music, and visual effects conveying messages of truth, freedom, and one love.
Okay.
Then Hope Road by night transitions into an intimate live show with performers and music. It will be open 7 days a week. Sounds very unique.
It really does. Now, for something chic and glamorous.
Dita Von Teese.
Exactly. The Queen of Burlesque continues her residency at Voltaire at the Venetian. Her show is described as full glam, featuring costumes from the famous Jubilee collection.
Wow, actual Jubilee costumes.
Apparently. And blending burlesque striptease with a diverse cast noted for all shapes and sizes and genders. It's called a chic, classy, only-in-Vegas experience, distinct from traditional showgirl productions. Sounds very cool. Music fans, boy bands.
Yep. For music fans, the original boy band, New Kids on the Block, are back with their residency, The Right Stuff, at Dolby Live at Park MGM.
And KOTB. Still got the right stuff, eh?
Apparently, they have 24 dates scheduled through November 15th with all original members. Donnie Wahlberg is quoted, finding it crazy, surreal, and saying, "They ain't retired and we ain't retiring and we're here. That energy certainly comes through.
Sounds great. Okay, one more big show mention.
Finally, Awakening at Wynn Las Vegas is entering its third year and is described as a lavish show undergoing evolutions, called an exercise in technical overkill and celebrated for its grandiosity and self-confidence.
This is the one that replaced Le Rêve, right? Big budget?
Huge budget. Reportedly a $120 million experiment. While the source notes an undercurrents of doubt when it premiered, they are now betting on the latter, meaning its long-term success.
Oh, they're tweaking it.
Yeah, they mention its scale, the involvement of artists like Baz Halpin for aesthetics, Michael Curry for puppetry, Bernie Eumann for magic, and that modifications are expected as it evolves, like in spring 2025. It sounds like a massive, constantly refined spectacle.
Definitely sounds like a major Vegas production.
Okay, stepping away from the theater stage and into the sun, pool parties.
Or day clubs, as they're often called. LasVegasNightclubs.com calls these a must-experience for an unforgettable day life experience.
So where are the top spots for 2025?
They list some of the big names. Encore Beach Club, Marquee Day Club, Wet Republic, Dre's Beach Club, Palm Tree Beach Club at MGM Grand.
Familiar names. Any newer ones?
Lefty Beach at the Fontainebleau is highlighted as a hottest day club, a massive 35,000 SQ space with a 2,000 capacity.
Mm.
And Liquid Pool Lounge at Area is called the ultimate in poolside opulence with ultra VIP service. Okay, sounds fancy. So what do you need to know if you want to check out a day club? Practicalities.
Crucial stuff here. Dress code is pretty simple. Swimwear is typical trunks and flip-flops for guys, bikinis, one-pieces, or cover-ups for women.
Don't forget sunglasses, hats, sunscreen.
Absolutely essential accessories. For getting in, you have options. You can buy tickets online, which is advised, especially for popular events or headliners.
Or book a cabana.
You can book a cabana or daybed, but be prepared for an additional cost, and it's best to book far in advance via a VIP host for the best spots.
Okay. What about getting in cheaper or free?
Ah, the key budget nugget. The majority of these pool parties offer free entry via guest lists.
Really? Free?
Often, yes. This is most commonly free for women, but rules for men can vary. Sometimes it's free for groups. Sometimes it requires a certain number of females in the group. It's absolutely essential to check the specific guidelines for the day club and event you want to attend.
Got it. Check ahead. Age requirement. 21 plus.
Typically 21 plus because alcohol is served everywhere, although the sources mention that some family-friendly events might exist. But assume 21 plus.
And hours.
Generally from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., though some may go a bit later. Then they often transition to nightclubs.
When's the best time of year?
Late spring to early fall, roughly March through September. Weekends are the most popular days, bigger crowds, but also the high-profile DJs.
Okay. What should you bring? And maybe more importantly, what should you not bring?
Good question. Bring valid ID, must, swimwear, sunscreen, sunglasses, a hat, and flip-flops. Plus, cash or card for drinks or incidentals.
Okay. What not to bring? Sounds like there's a big list.
There is, and it's critical. Pay very close attention. Prohibited items include backpacks, large purses, large bags.
Just travel light.
Seriously light. Also prohibited illegal drugs, including marijuana, even though it's legal in Nevada. It's not allowed in casinos or day clubs.
Important distinction.
Also, no vaporizers, e-cigs, any weapons or sharp objects. And surprisingly, all over-the-counter medications, vitamins, eye drops, contact lens solution, liquid hand sanitizer, tissues, wet naps, and baby wipes.
Yeah, even eye drops.
Even eye drops. Also, no outside food or beverages, no containers, no toys, props, inflatables, or any serious cameras like video, SLR, GoPro, or smart glasses. Phone cameras are usually okay, but check.
Okay, basically just bring yourself, your ID, your money, and maybe sunglasses.
Pretty much. On the plus side, they do provide towels, so you don't have to pack one. And bag check or lockers are usually available for purchase if you do bring something you need to store.
Good to know. What about costs inside? Drinks.
Beyond potential entry fees or cabana bookings, drinks are expensive. Cover charges for entry can range from $20 to $40 for women and $30 to $60 plus for men, but prices spike significantly during special events like holidays, fight weekends, or F1 races.
And the drinks themselves.
Expect to pay $20 plus for cocktails and $15 to $20 for shots. It adds up fast.
Yeah, it does. Music. What kind of vibe?
Music varies, but it's typically a mix of EDM, hip-hop, Latin, and top 40 open format. You should check the specific day club's listing for the type of music they'll be playing on a given day.
And they get big DJs.
Oh yeah, top-tier DJs like Calvin Harris, Tiesto, the Chainsmokers, and Steve Aoki are mentioned as frequently headlining these major venues, so checking their calendar is key if you want to see a specific artist.
Okay, good overview of the day club scene. Phew.
Right.
You've planned your transport, explored some cool spots, maybe hit a show or a pool party. Inevitably, you're going to get hungry.
Definitely. And Vegas offers a truly staggering array of dining options.
Yeah, the sources really underscore this point. The dining landscape ranges from quick, budget-friendly bites perfect for a hangover or a quick refuel,
We've all needed those.
all the way up to some of the most expensive and elaborate culinary experiences in the world. The breadth of price points and cuisines is immense.
Let's dive into some specific restaurant recommendations and insights, drawn heavily from the Hungry Hui source, starting with the high-end $4 sign category.
Okay, lay it on me.
The Mayfair Supper Club at the Bellagio, American cuisine, estimated around $150 per person. Sounds like it's popular for celebrations with its striking maximalist interiors in teal and pink.
Fancy vibe. Any entertainment.
And on Friday and Saturday nights, they have Mayfair After Dark, a live show featuring acrobatics, music, and dining. Recommended dishes included truffle pasta, prime rib, lobster, and the Caesar salad. Sounds like an experience as much as a meal.
Definitely. What about Carbone? Hear that name a lot.
Carbone at the Area, Italian-American, ranging from $125 to $200 per person, and noted as being one tough reservation, connected to the famous New York sister restaurant.
Tough reservation, huh?
Yeah, the source strongly recommended making reservations 30 days in advance, though they mentioned a host might be able to assist with last-minute bookings. The vibe apparently shifts throughout the night, starts old-school Italian, gets more hip-hop later.
Huh. Must order dishes.
The famous spicy rigatoni, the source, called it their favorite dish, and even noted they make it at home, and the Caesar salad.
Okay, spicy rigatoni at Carbone. Got it. Anything off-strip high-end?
Venture off-strip into Chinatown, and you'll find kaiseki yuzu, Japanese spot offering traditional kaiseki and omakase, priced from $165 to $335 per person, depending on the number of courses. Offers private room options at no extra fee.
Kaiseki. Very elaborate.
Yeah, the experience is described as having fresh ingredients, with the chef personally serving and explaining the dishes, though the descriptions could sometimes be confusing compared to dining in Japan or LA. A specific highlight was the flambéed wagyu. Small place, so calling ahead for reservations is definitely recommended.
Good to know. Steakhouses. Always big in Vegas.
Craft Steak by Tom Colicchio at MGM Grand. Traditional steakhouse around $120 per person. Known for sourcing high-quality beef from renowned producers like Snake River Farms.
So, good quality. Maybe not super inventive.
Pretty much. The description is that it's pretty high quality, even if it's not too adventurous. Essentially, a slightly upscale classic steak experience. Recommended orders: steak, French fries, potatoes, mushrooms. Specific items tasted included dinner rolls, roasted onions, scallops, ribeye, Brussels sprouts. Reservations are noted as being very accessible here.
Okay. What about high-end Chinese?
Wing Li at the Wynn, priced around $169 per person before tip. Stunning ambiance, elevated ceilings, gilded interiors, serene garden backdrop with a gold dragon. Enforces a smart casual dress code, and it's famous for one specific dish.
Let me guess. Peking duck.
You got it. The Imperial Peking Duck, priced at $138, served with tableside service. The whole experience sounds elaborate. Server rolled over a cart with crepes, bao, scallions, cucumbers, 3 hoisin sauces. You get duck consomme first, duck carved tableside, optional fried rice with leftovers.
Wow.
The server even assembles an example crepe or bao for you. And the verdict on the duck. The source called the skin phenomenal, so crunchy and less oily than others.
Sounds amazing.
However, and this was a major takeaway, the source explicitly did not recommend the other dishes tried. Found things too sweet, unimpressive, or just okay. The clear conclusion was they would only revisit for the Peking duck.
That's a really specific, valuable insight. Just go for the duck.
Exactly. Also at the Wynn is Mizumi, a Japanese restaurant where a meal for 2 came to over $387 after tip.
Whoa. Worth it.
Yeah. Service and ambiance, great vibes, were praised as amazing, but the food itself was deemed just standard for how incredibly expensive it was.
Ouch. What went wrong?
Dishes tried included yellowtail belly, skewers, crab croquette, wagyu fried rice, tofu crunch roll. Issues noted were croquettes being too heavy, skewers not better than a local izakaya, wagyu fried rice lacking seasoning, rest being okay, but lackluster. Not super interesting.
So beautiful space, great service, but the food didn't live up to the price tag for the food.
Seems like it. Another critical insight there. And one high-end restaurant was explicitly not recommended by a source, L'Atelier de Joël Robuchon at MGM Grand.
Really?
Ah.
Robichon, why not?
Despite nice staff and solid food, it was criticized for lacking creativity and passion. Decor described as very 90s and dated, food presentation, fine fancy, but also very expected and overplayed.
Huh. Who did they think it was for?
The speculation was it targets a demographic wanting very safe food in a semi-fancy feeling environment, suggesting it might not appeal if you're looking for culinary innovation.
Interesting perspective. Okay, let's step down into the mid-range, maybe $3 sign restaurant.
Right. Mother Wolf at the Fontainebleau sounds like a surprising hit. Italian spot, maybe 60-90 per person, described as a tribute to La Cucina Romana.
I'm a surprise.
Just about every single dish was spot on, which the source noted is absolutely not the norm for them.
Yeah.
Lively, open dining room, professional-friendly waitstaff.
Any misses?
The only slight disappointment was the undercooked cacio e pepe. But otherwise, recommended orders include pizza, fried squash blossoms, their famous bread, meatballs, shrimp, steak, lamb chops, penne, cocktails, bread pudding, tiramisu. They love just about everything else.
Sounds like a winner for Italian. What about another steakhouse?
Bavette Steakhouse at Park MGM, $120 per person. Came highly recommended by friends and locals and lived up to the hype for this source. Classy, very dimly lit, lively vibe. Visited multiple times.
And the food.
Surprisingly delicious, even seemingly plain items. Offered a contrast to mediocre steak experiences elsewhere. Delivers great quality steak and burger, great service, and ambiance.
Any insider tips?
A neat nugget. If you book via the MGM app with a VIP registration, you might receive perks like complimentary cocktails and an amuse-bouche, recommended orders, the dry aged ribeye, medium rare, Wagyu cheeseburger, half-order bread, wild mushrooms, mashed potatoes. An example cost was $183 for two before tip.
Good to know. What else in that mid-range?
LPM Restaurant and Bar at the Cosmopolitan. French Mediterranean, price probably $, pleasantly surprised one source after low expectations. Creates a French Riviera ambiance that takes you out of the bustling glamour of Vegas.
Nice touch. Standout dishes.
They bring complimentary rosemary bread with tomatoes, lemon, olive oil. Dishes praised for fresh ingredients and simple but well-executed cooking included the thinly sliced octopus dressed with lemon and green chili, garlic buttery escargot, perfectly tender, rosemary french fries, and a seasonal lobster risotto umami complexity.
Sounds delicious. Anything special about the bar?
A major highlight here is their bar menu, particularly the famous tomatini cocktail described as caprese in a glass with savory, tangy layers. They also have an experiential cocktail menu celebrating Jean Cocteau and non-alcoholic options. Located on 3rd floor Boulevard Tower, easy reservations, outdoor patio option.
Tomatini. Interesting. What else? Bellagio?
Harvest at the Bellagio, $8,200 per person. Focuses on traditional American dishes using fresh seasonal ingredients. Source visited multiple times, consistently amazed at the quality. Recommended orders, raw oysters and the seasonal fish entree.
Any perks? Vegan options.
Offers a dedicated vegan menu, is dinner only, and has a daily happy hour from 5-6 p.m. with discounts on cocktails and snacks. Located on 1st floor, down a long and windy hallway, but easy to book same day or walk up.
Okay. How about Aria again? Bardot Brasserie?
Bardot Brasserie at Aria, $75 per person. French Brasserie by Chef Michael Mina, inspired by Hemingway's Paris. Source dine there for both brunch and dinner, like the French-inspired ambiance. Traditional French dishes like onion soup, escargot.
Anything they're known for?
They pride themselves on their beef Wellington ordered for brunch, split multiple ways. Also enjoyed the caviar service with mini potato latkes blinis, lively vibe, live music during brunch, relatively easy reservations within a Went, located on promenade level near Carbone. Recommended orders, beef Wellington, caviar service, escargot.
Sounds like a solid French option. One more mid-range.
Hakkasan at MGM Grand, likely Tuller Speed. Cantonese restaurant adjacent to the famous nightclub, serves Asian favorites with a twist in a dark, moody setting. Particularly convenient if you're seeing a concert at the MGM Garden Arena.
Good to know. Okay, now let's pivot to the more budget-friendly, maybe $2 sign and $1 sign options that offer great value.
Yes. Let's find the deals. The Golden Tiki is a tiki bar off-strip that sounds absolutely fantastic and holds a special place in one source's heart.
A tiki bar. Tell me more.
Described as a unique blend of high-quality drinks, quirky high-quality decor, live singers, history, and shock value, called all-around fun. Drinks are genuinely good, Haven't had a bad drink yet. Painkiller favorite. They
Yep.
have Dole soft serve like Disneyland's Trader Sam's and good snacks.
What's the atmosphere like?
Lively, often crowded, open 24 hours. Cozy, dim lit. Decor is a major highlight, shrunken heads, wild bathroom wallpaper, lots of details. Sounds amazing.
24-hour tiki bar.
Yeah.
Dangerous. What about Din Tai Fung again? Budget friendly.
Din Tai Fung at Aria, considered to range around $60 per person. Taiwanese spot highlighted as comforting and familiar no matter where we eat it. Go-to for consistently crave-worthy Asian food, especially dumplings. Famous pork xiao long bao, cucumber salad, sweet and sour pork ribs, chocolate xiao long bao for dessert. Sources also pointed out lots of vegan options that actually taste great. Spicy wontons, soy noodle salad, tofu noodles, wonton soup, sesame noodles.
Wow, good vegan options too. Busy.
Super popular, so using the MGM app for reservations is highly recommended for walk-ins might involve a wait, located right on the casino floor.
Okay, quick Japanese.
Tekka bar at the Cosmopolitan, Japanese handroll and sake spot, similar to Kazunori. Sit-up bar, order prefix or a la carte hand rolls. Called an excellent restaurant if you need something quick and tasty. Favorites, salmon, king crab, bay scallops. Offers beer sake.
And easy to get into.
The sources noted you can always rely on an opening here even when the rest of the Cosmo is packed. Great tip for a busy night.
Definitely. Off-script again to Chinatown.
Raku, 407070 pp. Japanese izakaya specializing in kushiyaki grilled skewers over charcoal. Also izakaya dishes like agedashi tofu, karaage, sashimi.
Bourdain liked this place, right?
Yeah, exactly. Was an Anthony Bourdain favorite. Source shared trying various skewers, beef, salmon, base, asparagus, pork, small fried fish sake, described as casual, no-frills environment delivering great quality food, small place, so call for reservations.
Good Japanese options off-strip. What about pho?
Pho, so 125,000 p, also off-strip in Chinatown, high praise for its pho. Broth described as well-balanced, meat tender, not dried out, comes with standard fixings.
Any specific pho to try?
Specifically mentioned trying the ribeye pho, finding it slightly more tender though not fatty. Recommended if you don't prefer traditional cuts. Word of caution, avoid the super sweet fried chicken wings mentioned by the source.
Good warning. Pricey for pho.
Noted as slightly expensive compared to spots in California. $18 plus a bowl, plus a 3% credit card fee. Easy parking, usually seated quickly. Recommended order, pho with brisket, rare steak, and flank.
Okay. Back on strip. Quick breakfast.
Egghead at the Aria, $20 pp. Fast dining brunch spot compared to Egg Slut. Highlighted as perfect for those who need a quick meal or to help fix your morning hangover. Located in Proper Eats Hall on Promenade level, noted as cleaner than Cosmo's food court.
Most orders.
The crispy hash brown, described as 1-inch thick, deep-fried, ultra-crispy. Pair that with a breakfast sandwich. The Midtown was specifically recommended. Affordable and quick breakfast option.
That hash brown sounds intense. What about buffets? Any budget options left?
Downtown, the Garden Court Buffet, $35 pp, was mentioned as a more budget-friendly buffet option, especially for Seafood Fridays, though worth checking if still offered.
How's the quality?
Not the fanciest, on the level of a really good Big Boy or Bob Evans, but food noted as fresh, staff nice, significantly cheaper than strip buffets, and RIP Gold Nugget Buffet, a classic lost.
Yeah, sad to see that one go. Any other local spots mentioned?
Quick shout-outs. Taco y Taco in SC Vegas for tacos, and Mariscos Las Ilitas in North Las Vegas sounds amazing for amazing Mexican seafood, and often features a mariachi band. Great options if you're exploring further off the strip.
Nice. Lots of food options covered.
Okay.
Okay, so we've covered getting around, what to do, where to eat. Now let's tackle something that is a significant and, frankly, often infuriating part of the Vegas experience for many visitors.
Yes. Resort fees.
Resort fees.
Yeah.
The sources consistently highlight these as a major source of contention.
And it's easy to see why. What are they, fundamentally? They are daily charges added to your bill after you've booked your room.
Right, they are not included in the initial nightly room rate you see advertised, even on the hotel's own website or through third parties. You only pay them upon checkout.
And they are supposedly meant to cover access to some services within the facility, like Wi-Fi, pool access, gym access, things you might assume are included.
But the fundamental issue, as noted by the sources and even recognized by, official bodies, is that they operate as hidden charges.
They are managed completely independently of the quoted nightly room rate, which creates confusion and means your final bill is often significantly higher than you anticipated when booking.
Yeah, that sticker shock at checkout is real.
And this isn't just traveler complaining. The sources cited a Federal Trade Commission FTC analysis from 2017, which stated that separating mandatory resort fees from posted room rates without first disclosing the total price is likely to harm consumers
How so?
by increasing the search costs and cognitive costs. In simpler terms, the FTC said it makes it harder for you, the consumer, to easily compare prices and figure out the true cost of your stay.
Makes total sense, but they're still here.
And despite that analysis highlighting consumer harm, resort fees persist. And they add up fast. The amounts are quoted before taxes, which add another 13.38%.
So how high do they go?
The highest fees mentioned reach a staggering $55 per night before tax,
$55 a night.
which is $62.36 per night once tax is included. And one source really drives home the impact. Sometimes the resort fee can be higher than the room rate.
Wow. Paying more for the fee than the room itself. That's crazy.
And the trend is not going down. Data from January 2025 in one source showed that out of 90 hotels, 62 had recently increased their resort fees.
62 out of 90.
Yeah. The average resort fee across those 90 hotels is now $40.04 per night, which totals $43.64 with tax. That's an 11% increase from the previous average of $36.
So is it going up across the board?
Pretty much. The specific examples of increases are notable. Aria, Bellagio, and Vidara went from $50 to $55. Four Seasons increased from $45 to $55. Encore, Mandalay Bay, MGM Grand, Palazzo, Resorts World, Venetian, Wynn, and W all jumped from $45 to $50.
Wow.
Park MGM and the Signature increased from $42 to $50, and the Rio had a significant jump from $40 to $50. Many others also saw increases. The trend across almost all major properties is clearly upward, impacting your budget significantly.
Okay, so what are people saying? The reactions must be strong.
Traveler reactions in the sources perfectly capture the frustration. Some flat out call them a cash grab and bullshit.
Can't blame them.
One commenter had a pragmatic, if slightly cheeky, response. They take extra towels daily to feel like they are paying for the resort fee.
Get your money's worth in towels.
There was an account shared of someone walking out of the Flamingo specifically over hidden fees, described how the fee was very hidden on the website, and management was completely unhelpful, simply stating, that's what we charge.
Ugh, terrible customer service.
And this feeling of being nickel and dimed combined with high food prices, parking fees, perceived tight slot machines, overpriced gift shops contributed to a strong feeling of being ripped off across the board.
Yeah, it all adds up to a bad feeling.
A commenter from the UK who had visited Vegas 14 times stopped going because even budget hotels jumped on the resort fees bandwagon and started charging for parking too.
So it drove away a long-time visitor.
Completely. They argued Vegas now offers poor value for money and expressed a wish that people would boycott the city to show corporations people can't be taken for a ride forever, believing the public are being treated like mugs.
Strong words. Does it affect high rollers too? Or do they get them waived?
The issue even touches high rollers. While they can get rooms comped based on their gambling, they often still pay the resort fee on comped rooms.
Even on comp room?
Often, yeah. However, one commenter claimed they managed to avoid paying even a penny for their comped 3-week stays by focusing on games like Baccarat and Pay-Gow Tiles and playing strategically to minimize losses.
Interesting strategy.
This commenter specifically blamed MGM for initiating the resort fee and parking charge trends, calling them the devil.
Wow. MGM is the devil. That's some strong feeling about the impact of these fees. Okay, so given all this, are there any alternatives? Are there any hotels left that don't charge resort fees?
According to the January 2025 source, yes, there are still options available without this extra charge. It's not hopeless.
Okay, good news. Which ones?
The list provided includes Casino Royale, Best Western Plus, Desert Rose Resort, Embassy Suites by Hilton Convention Center, Four Queens.
Four Queens downtown.
Okay. Hilton Garden in Las Vegas City Center, Hotel Jefe, which used to be the Lucky Club, Hyatt Place Las Vegas, Marriott Las Vegas, Marriott Grand Chateau, Residence Inn, Town Place Suites by Marriott Las Vegas City Center,
A lot of Marriotts and Hiltons there.
Worldmark Las Vegas Bellevue, Worldmark Tropicana, Wyndham Desert Blue, and Wyndham Grand Desert. These are primarily off-strip or non-casino properties, which seems to be the key distinction.
Right, so if you want to avoid the fee, look off-strip or at brands without casinos.
Generally, yeah. It's worth noting that one comment mentions the Desert Club Resort Holiday Inn charging a $15 fee, so this landscape can change, but this list provides a concrete starting point if avoiding resort fees is a priority for you.
Definitely good to have that list. It's clear that understanding these fees is crucial for setting your budget and avoiding surprises.
Absolutely critical.
And there you have it. We've taken a pretty deep dive into the multifaceted world of Las Vegas, guided by the insights you shared.
We really covered a lot of ground.
We've unpacked the complexities of getting around, from the free trams to the paid monorail and buses, hopefully helping you navigate the deceptive distances of this trip.
We've explored the wealth of experiences available, from the classic free attractions within the hotels and the iconic fountain shows to the more unusual museums and the stunning natural landscapes requiring a drive.
We've also delved into the vibrant shows and the unique day club scene, covering everything from dress codes to those very long prohibited items lists and costs.
And we've savored the diverse culinary landscape, offering insights into high-end dining successes and, well, some disappointments, as well as highlighting fantastic mid-range and budget-friendly gems both on and off the strip.
Crucially, we've confronted the reality of resort fees, understanding what they are, why they're controversial, how much they cost, and where you might still be able to avoid them.
Hopefully this gives you a clearer, more informed perspective on planning a trip, revisiting with new eyes, or maybe just understanding the layers that make up this truly unique city.
Yeah. It's a place built on spectacle and designed for escapism, but
Hmm.
one where the practicalities and hidden costs are as real as the dazzling lights.
Exactly.
And that brings us to a final thought, something to, ponder as you consider all this.
Okay.
Think about the incredible tension between the highly controlled, meticulously curated, often incredibly expensive experiences offered on the Strip, the themed hotels, the elaborate shows, the artificial environments, and the vast, untamed, historically significant desert landscape that surrounds it, often just a short drive away.
Right. The contrast is huge.
What does that extreme contrast, that artificial oasis built within and against the raw natural environment, tell us about what people are truly seeking when they come to Vegas?
Hmm.
What does it reveal about the nature of escapism and entertainment in our modern world?
That's a fascinating paradox tucked right into the landscape, something to definitely think about. you.